after we transitioned from Jinder's heaters to going back to 205 Live, the very first time Vince saw us in gorilla position with our tassels, our ring gear on, and he looked over and he popped and he was like, "That's effing heat. That's effing money." So he looked at us and he saw something.
So obviously, I mean, Harv touched upon this. I mean, the culmination of this entire run was you guys coming to India, and I mean, you are performing in front of a packed crowd. I was in the audience. All of us were shocked when Triple H went over, man. Like, what happened there?
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any insight on that, but for us, we were just I remember being in India, and I think my brothers also mentioned this before. It's like that was the closest thing we felt to being like massive stars. Like it was insane, man. It was humbling and it was surreal, and it was a culmination of that, the three of us together, and it was kind of brought to the forefront in India. It was so cool.
But you got to also remember is Hunter's been on TV for 25 plus years in India. Him, Taker, Sean, those guys have been on years for 25 plus years. So for kids like us they're out there, we're just appreciative of that spotlight, and we're making the most of it. So I think again, to my brother's point, we don't have the insight on it, but it was a really cool moment for sure.
And another moment that could have happened technically is that Dream Brock versus Jinder match, which was pulled at the last minute. I mean, because AJ entered the picture. Do you think it could have been a good match? And I mean, it was taken away.
Yeah, I mean,
I think.
sorry.
Go.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, it could have been pretty cool. I mean, especially with us out there, and I know by that point, people were already expecting us, the Singh brothers, the characters, to get their asses whooped. So people were expecting the F5 or the German suplexes. So yeah, that could have been made a lot of fun for a lot of different reasons. But go ahead, Harv. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, I actually was going to say the same thing. I mean, with AJ entering the picture, I remember being in the UK when Jinder dropped the title to him. I mean, that was the reaction there was pretty cool to even just be a part of that. I think they had a great outing that night.
Yeah.
Cool. So then Superstar Spectacle came along. Do you think it would have been a bigger deal if it happened maybe in India? I mean, obviously it could not this year. And how was the event overall?
No, the event itself was awesome. I mean, if you were at the arena that day and seeing the rehearsals happening and seeing all the the cultural ceremonies that they were presenting everybody with, it was beautiful. Of course, if it happened in India, it would have been a lot better as far as bigger showcase. But obviously, with the COVID and pandemic, it made it hard for. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, on a personal note, like we were in the ring with the WWE champion Drew McIntyre, which in the main event of that, I thought that was a lot of trust given to us from the company standpoint. Rinku and Saurav, I think that was their first or second, or maybe even like it was one of their very first few matches. So to have that trust, to have lead them through that, and just again being in the ring with the WWE champion in the main event of a show that was going to be watched by a lot of people. Like I don't know the actual number. You might know, Riju, but I know it was well into the millions. For us on a personal level, that's where the confidence is so sky high right now. When we're working every week on 205, get an opportunity like that and delivering and having the trust of the company to be put in a spot like that. It's not a small thing to be share the ring with the champ on a very big network show. We took that as a badge of honor, and going forward, we have that confidence now. Walking to wherever we go, is we can deliver, and we can be put in high profile situations.
So a question, this is a two-part question for the both of you. Who is a superstar outside of WWE that you want to work with? And who is someone within the WWE system that you wish you could have worked with?
Outside, we've always wanted to lock up with FTR, Revival.
Oh.
Even when they were in NXT and on the roster, we would always talk about hoping to have that, match up with them, because they're big Bret Hart fans and guys who grew up watching Bret, and obviously everybody knows that we love Bret as much, and their style would gel well with ours just by obviously who we watch and who we study and our mindset for the business. So outside of WWE, like there's so many great tag teams, both on Impact and AEW right now, and all around the world right now that we're eager and hungry to lock up.
So I was gonna say El Phantasmo out in New Japan.
Yeah.
He's the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champ. I mean, like to my brother's point, there's just so much tag teams out there in so many different promotions. Even the Young Bucks. I mean, since we've been wrestling, we've been getting tweets from fans and what have you, because we're all brothers and our paths never crossed ever in our careers. And one of the reasons was because we were in Canada predominantly and couldn't cross the border. So we're excited. I mean, whatever opportunity comes our way, we will take it.
And Riju, I think you're asking who would we like to work inside WWE at the time. I mean, the Usos for sure. I always dreamt of working with Usos, and how can you not? The best tag team going right now, I would say, just in the WWE still. So all these years later, so definitely Revival at Usos, Young Bucks, a lot of potential still.
I think just to throw a little history, like Usos were very good to us when we got called up on the main roster. When we're on the international tours, live events, they're just always would talk to us and just help us along. So I think that kind of would have been great to be able to lock up with them when we first called up, they were just great guys to us.
So you guys are always, I mean, you've been very friendly, very approachable. When it comes to Vince McMahon, we've only heard those stories, like of like that legendary, the meetings with Vince McMahon. Everybody has a meeting with Vince McMahon story. Do you guys have any like funny stories or memorable stories?
Nothing funny, but he's always been very gracious and kind to us, very approachable to us. We were just guys coming up, so we were very straightforward and just whatever questions we had. And I know he was very thankful for all the bumps we took. And just, I think when we started working, there was, sorry, Gurf?
No, I was going to say, after we transitioned from Jinder's heaters to going back to 205 Live, the very first time Vince saw us in gorilla position with our tassels, our ring gear on, and he looked over and he popped and he was like, "That's effing heat, that's effing money." So he looked at us and he saw something. So for us, that was a high confidence booster for sure. So to my brother's point, every meeting, every time we have met, it was very professional and very fortunate for the opportunities.
So what were the plans when the Great Khali came back? Was it supposed to be a longer run or was it like a one-off only?
I have no idea.
That's a question that we had no, we can't answer. I just know he was there, and but beyond that, I have no real answer for that because everything changes.
We just remember Khali asking us who bumped off the cage there because he loved the bump. So that's it.